The underdogs of bonsai. Which species do you not see all that much as a bonsai? In this video I'll share with you 5 species that in my opinion are used too little as bonsai. They have a bad reputation or a bad name and they're not used enough, even though I think they are excellent for it. When starting with bonsai, the question is which species to use. And of course you go to a store and there's all sorts of tree species which are deemed very good for bonsai. For instance, the juniper is everywhere. Everybody has a juniper, and in fact most people start off their bonsai journey with the Juniperus procumbens nana. This is not a great species for bonsai, but it's really good. Then of course the ginkgo comes in play. The nice ancient looking leaves tickle the fancy of a lot of people. And yeah, these are pretty good species for bonsai. However, you go to the bonsai store and you find other species that are not so great for bonsai. I'm not going to mention everything like the ficus, the ginseng ficus with the swollen roots. Yes, of course, I can see already the comments rolling in. You can indeed make a nice bonsai out of it, but it requires quite a bit of skill. Now, let's start counting down. First up, pomegranate. So why do I think this is great for bonsai? Well, look at it. It has small leaves. It has nice little red flowers. And in fact, if the flower gets fertilized, it makes nice little fruits that over winter can stay on the tree, and in the middle of winter when the tree is completely bare you still have one of the fruits hanging from it. Why is it not used more? Well, quite easily. This species is known to be from the Mediterranean climate, which leads people to believe that it is not winter hard. This one, however, has been inside never. It always is in my garden. In the winter, yes, I put it in a shed. I protect it against deep frost. But 1 or 2 degrees of frost is okay for this species. Another reason for not growing pomegranate is they grow up slowly. You can easily go into a store, you get yourself a fruit and you sow the seeds, and within a couple of weeks you should get seedlings. But to go from seedling to a trunk like this, you might easily have to wait for 10 years. So it is a slowly developing tree species. However, they can start flowering in their 3rd or the 4th year. So they still make an attractive tree to have in your garden. Keep in mind, if you go to the store and you buy a fruit, you get the big fruit. This is a small fruit variety. So ask around, find somebody who grows pomegranates already in their garden as a bonsai with the small fruits, the small flowers and the small leaves. Get some cuttings. These grow exceptionally well from cuttings. In the middle of summer you can take cuttings, put them in a baggie. They'll root. The second underdog for bonsai is dogwood. Cornus. This is one of the big underdogs in bonsai, and why I do not know, to be honest. They grow really fast. They thicken up very fast. This is a trunk I got from a garden maybe 5 years ago. It was chopped here and in the back, so I was left with just this piece, and everything else was grown in those 5 years. In winter, all these branches will go this type, this color, scarlet red. You can defoliate. I just defoliated this yesterday. We are now in the middle of August and it is very warm. I hope it will regrow. Then we'll have a whole coat of new fine branches all around, and it's just superb in winter. There is of course a downside. The downside is visible right here. The downside are the chops. The chops on the corners don't close all that quickly. In fact, they might not close at all. This is a species that really you should get if you have an opportunity. Cornus, and I think this is Cornus sanguifolium or something. Something with sangus, blood. Check it out. It's a nice species. The third underdog for bonsai is the berberis. So this prickly companion is a berberis. It grows very fast. You can prune it very well, and it has a very nice bark that develops with age. And with that, it is actually a very nice species for bonsai. Now, why don't people grow it more often? Quite easy. 2 reasons. It makes very nasty thorns, and the trunk takes ages to thicken up. This trunk is probably 30 years old. But besides that, you can prune them as much as you want. Every time you prune them, they'll regrow, and they are drought resistant. They like full sun. You can wire them at ease, except for watch your fingers. Yeah, great species for bonsai. Underappreciated. Grow them if you have a chance to get a nice thick trunk berberis. Of course, the trees that I'm presenting here, that's my top 5 underdog bonsai trees, doesn't mean they're your top 5 underdog bonsai trees. I am curious. If you have the time and you have some trees that you think should be used more for bonsai, drop me a comment down below. Let me know why. Let me know whether you have it. And I would love to see them. The fourth underdog for bonsai is the jabuticaba. Excellent for bonsai. That's what I say. Why do I think it's excellent for bonsai? It is a plant that grows nice modest sized leaves. The bark peels in winter. Or actually the bark peels continuously, so you get this nice spotted pattern on the trunk. It develops quickly. This was all grown over the last 3 years. And yeah, I don't really know why not more people grow them. Actually, I do know why not more people grow them. They are very hard to get outside of Brazil. Brazil? Yes. Jabuticaba is also known as the Brazilian grape. And the nice thing about this plant is when it starts flowering, it flowers directly from the trunk, and the fruits will sit directly on the trunk. 3 centimeters, 1 inch, a little over 1 inch, fruits sit directly on the trunk, making it a very, very nice species. Another problem with this species is it is not very salt tolerant. We are having a very hot and dry summer this year, and you can see on the leaves there's all these brown tips. I pruned this back last night. I'll repot it today or tomorrow, and then it should be good to go, ready for winter to grow again. But they are not very easy in hot, dry summers, or in cold winters, or in temperate summers. They are from the humid tropics. They do take 0 degrees Celsius. Just touching frost is okay, but colder than that, no. These go inside for winter. And on top, ranking, leading the leaderboard of the underdogs of bonsai, for me, is Potentilla. Look at these. These were dug from a garden just 2 years ago. They develop so quickly. What's not to like about Potentilla? They create gorgeous twisted and turned trunks. Make nice old dead wood that rots away. The leaves are tiny, and even though they're tiny, they are split up in 5 little leaflets. And if you let the branches run in summer, you get these nice little flowers which can vary anything from white over yellows to pinks. This is, for me, one of the true underdogs in bonsai, and it's used way too little. One of the reasons why it's used too little is, as with some of the other species, they thicken up very, very slowly. This trunk can easily be 40 years old. This one probably has been planted 20 years ago, and then have been left to grow for a long time. So growing them from a cutting, although it is very easy to grow these from cutting, you just take a cutting, you chuck them in the soil and they grow. So it's not hard to propagate, it's very easy. It then takes a long time to thicken up the branches. However, if you look at these are branches of 2 years old. This is from this year. They do thicken up a little bit. They are hard to bend, so that's a downside. You need to bend the branches when they're young. If they are getting to the stage like this, what is it? 3 millimeters, 4 millimeters, 1/8 of an inch. When you start to bend them, then they typically break. But besides that, great species for bonsai. I really recommend you, if you do have the opportunity to get a thick Potentilla, do get it, try it, and grow them out. Underdogs in bonsai. This is just the beginning.